One of the scariest science fiction future scenarios is Red Goo, where artificial machines self-replicate in an out-of-control manner until all accessible matter and energy resources have been turned into artificial machines. I consider a Red Goo future scenario to be more likely, due to the development and increasingly prolific use of precision-guided weapons and drones in warfare. I define the Red Goo scenario as one where most human resources have been turned into Red Goo by precision-guided weapons and/or drones. Necessary prerequisites for a Red Goo singularity. A Red Goo singularity would require a vast increase in drone precision, numbers and simplicity of piloting managing. These plans are in the works. Human control over a swarm can take many forms. Human commanders might develop a detailed plan and then put a swarm into action, allowing it to adapt to changing circumstances on the ground. Alternatively, human commanders might establish only higher-level tasks, such as find enemy targets, and allow the swarm to determine the optimal solution through centralized or decentralized coordination. Or human controllers might simply change swarm goals or agent preferences to induce certain behaviors. If the cognitive load of controlling a swarm exceeds that of one person, human tasks could be split up by breaking a swarm into smaller elements or by dividing tasks based on function. For example, one human controller could monitor the health of vehicles, with another setting high-level goals and yet another approving specific high-risk actions, like use of force. Source: it would require at least one nation-state, or several nation-states, to develop vast drone armies on the level of their nuclear weapons arsenals, weapons so terrible that could destroy the world many times over. Based on strategies developed by modern military theorists, the best use case for drone total warfare would be to quietly pre-position them inside of enemy territory and then launch them all at once to take out critical infrastructure and people. A writer like Harlan Ellison, creator of the Terminator idea, at least according to his excellent lawyers, could imagine the terrible mess of small swarms of explosive suicide drones targeting people's foreheads, of drones that sneak through open doorways and subways and then release poison gas once they've found a sufficiently dense crowd of people. This kind of pre-placement would require drones that could maintain and power themselves, perhaps feeding off of the host country's power grid or going into some sort of sleep mode. It would also require some form of artificial intelligence to either take over the entire operation or to enhance a human being's ability to manage the complexity of pre-positioned drone swarms ensconced in the fog of war. Towards a Red Goo AI singularity, the race for artificial intelligence isn't an area of expertise study of mine. I'll simply observe that in terms of nation-states with the technical and economic capacity to design a drone army capable of surpassing any existing military force on Earth, and having a means to control all of them simultaneously, China seems to be the most highly focused on creating the world's largest data stream towards development of an AI with these sorts of capabilities. For AI, China's unique advantage is the data from the largest internet population globally, minus 900 million and still increasing. AI runs on data, and that correlation leads to a self-perpetuating cycle of consolidation in industries. The more data you have, the better your product. The better your product, the more users you gain. The more users you gain, the more data you have. Source: once a nation-state has the ability to manufacture, maintain and manage drone swarms so vast and terrible that they could consume the world like locusts, what would prevent them from doing so, other than the risk of nuclear retaliation? What if sufficient numbers of drones were pre-positioned to take these nuclear weapons out before they can be launched, or shortly after launch? What would prevent the countries that comes up with an AI drone singularity from turning the rest of the world into Red Goo? The Mongolian strategy, as practiced by Chinggis Khan, was to place cities under siege and offer them a choice: become a vassal of Mongolia, or be utterly destroyed to send a message to the next 10 cities. These ancient methods of warfare have not been forgotten in the world of military strategy. Brutal mass genocides are not an artifact of history, nor are they unimaginable by modern political leaders.